Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute. I have completed a whole semester of graduate school and I'm hoping to be able to do a few more videos now that everything's kind of calmed down a little bit. I've gotten the hang of things. But today I wanted to come on and show you guys a look that I did on my Instagram a week or so ago around New Year's. I was just playing around. It was a blue smoky eye with like a silver shimmer on it on my lids, and I wanted to film it and show you guys how I did it. So I'm gonna use two different palettes today. I'm gonna use the Teddy Boy by Butter London. I can show you guys what it looks like. So it folds out into two, and so there's a lot of like cool toned blues and browns in there. And then I'm gonna use the ColourPop and Disney Designer Collection. It's a Princess Thing palette. And in the original look, I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette, but I wanted to use one that was potentially more available. So I'm gonna use this shimmer called Thingamabob all over the lid. So to start though, we're gonna prime our eyes, because with looks like this I like to start with my eyes, then I can kind of gauge everything else throughout there. So what I'm gonna do is find all my things. I usually do my makeup at my vanity, which is behind me, and right now I'm at my desk, so I have to like kind of get myself situated here and find the things. So like I brought a whole bag of makeup for myself to use. So what we're gonna do first is I like to conceal my eyes, and then put a little bit of concealer on my eyes and set it with powder, and then use eyeshadow. That way I just cancel out all of the discoloration and everything on my lids. And then I use Real Techniques. This is the Deluxe Concealer Brush. So I just use that all over and see how it kind of cancels out all the veins that are on my eyelid, or visible on my eyelid. So, oh, and I'm using the Hourglass concealer in Crème. So I decided to go for more like high-end luxury products today, I guess with the exception of ColourPop, but it was just what I was in the mood to play with. So now I'm gonna go in with my Nikkia Joy Velvet Finishing Powder with another small brush and set the concealer that we just used. And then, yep, so I'm just taking it a little bit on a brush and use my little mirror. Just putting a light coating all over it to set it so that it doesn't crease, because I have slightly hooded eyes, so right in my, like, right where you see my eyelid fold, that's where I get a lot of creasing. And if you see that you have any lines or anything, like if the concealer is already creased, just go back in with the concealer brush and smooth those out. And then set it with powder. And that gives a good smooth base for the eyeshadows to stay on. Okay, I figured out my lighting, and now I feel like you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So we've concealed the eyes, and now we're gonna go in with the Teddy Boy from Butter London, not Ciate London, that's a different brand. Okay, so again, here's, I can do this. Here's what this looks like. And we're gonna start with the Simon shade, right? The big one. Ooh, right here. So we're gonna start with that one, and that's gonna be our transition shade. And so I'm just gonna grab a big fluffy brush. This is the Morphe R40 brush. It was just the random one that I grabbed from my little cup. So just a little bit on there, and then just buff it into the crease. What we're trying to do is slowly build up the shades from lightest to darkest. Like, that's how I build a smoky eye, and it's what I like to do. But it can be kind of hard when you're using, like, this is a blue smoky eye, so it can be kind of difficult to be like, how do you transition like your skin tone into blue? So that's what transition colors are for. I don't like this brush very much, it's kind of pokey. Okay, so it's pretty subtle, just a little bit of like this taupey tan shade. It's not showing up super well on camera, but I promise it is doing something. I would not recommend this brush, you guys. It's pokey. It's not very soft. Okay, so those look about even. And then I'm gonna take another fluffy brush. This one is one I got off of Amazon. It's Anju. It doesn't have any names or anything, but it kind of looks like that. It's slightly smaller than the last one. And then we are gonna go into the shade Freddy, which is this shade right here. So, and just kind of start building up the blue, starting at the outside corner and working our way inside. And the other key with smoky eyes is you want the lightest on the very inner corner and then to work your way out to darkest. So we're working on building up a gradient of color across our eyes. And smoky eyes can be really fun. Like, they're my preferred eye look, to be completely honest. Like, if I am going to go in with a lot of eyeshadow, I tend to do a smoky eye. I tend to not do super colorful ones. Like, that just kind of, it's not my preference or aesthetic. So it's, I mean, like, this one is kind of going out of my comfort zone a little bit. I did a purple one recently too. I guess recently, like last month at some point. And I'd be intrigued to do it again because I'd like to play with more color. Okay, so we have it working a little bit more now because that was kind of like our second transition shade, just to start building up the color a little bit more. I want it to be a little bit deeper. So we're gonna keep building it up until we like where it's at, and then blending. Because that's like the key to a smoky eye, is a good blend. And I really like to blend my eyeshadow up like this, so it kind of like extends to the very end of my eyebrow, and I feel like that just makes a really cool shape on my particular eyes, like on the shape of my eyes. So we're gonna build it up a little bit more out here, start creating that shape again, kind of that swoopy. You can see it starting to form. Okay, so that's kind of where I want that. Again, it's really subtle so far. And then what we're gonna do is blow off the extra, and we're gonna go into Rupert right there. So it's the deepest blue shade in this whole thing. And I'm gonna use the same brush here to start kind of packing that on. And this one we're gonna spend some time blending this because it's a deeper shade. See, like it's gonna take us a second to really get this. So I'm gonna pack it on and kind of guide it to the shape I want, like that. And then just start blending is really the key. And these will translate more. I should get my mirror out of the way. I'm like doing my tutorial like this. That's helpful. So, like, obviously this is really smoking out the eye, like instantly. We have color payoff. But the shades in this particular palette really pull more gray than blue, and so if you're wanting something, it's like a very neutral blue palette, which I think is a little bit more workable than potentially some other ones. So we're just gonna kind of keep working that and making sure there's no patches, or, you know, when there's less on the brush, you can bring it a little bit further in, because we're just trying to create this shape. And you want it to be kind of diffused and going out. And I haven't dipped back into the palette yet. Like, this is all still that same amount of color that we put on. Okay, now I'm gonna focus. I just dipped in again, and I'm gonna really focus this next amount of color on the very, very outer portion to kind of try and deepen it up just a little bit. Because this is a smoky eye. Now, if you guys wanted to go deeper than this, you could throw in a black. Like right where we're packing on more blue, put a black instead, and that'll really, really make it smoky. But I think I'm gonna stick with this for now because, you know, it's like 2 p.m. on Monday, so I don't feel the need to go too smoky. I think this is about how smoky I made it the other day. And sometimes, I don't know if you guys can see, there's like a little bit of patchiness right in here. And so just lightly go over that, because like every eye has wrinkles, and that's okay. Don't be afraid. It's okay. Like, just blend it out. That's the nice thing about it. And if it's not working, go back into the transition shade. And I didn't put any more product on the brush. I'm just trying to blend everything out. Oh, it's working. Okay. And if at some point you think that you've gone too hard on something, or like you're having a hard time blending it, go back in with your transition shade brush and use that to blend, because that way you're not adding any more color with this brush. We're just kind of using it almost as like an eraser. So, but I'm gonna go in and do the other eye now that I've gotten the right eye where we want. Packed it on. And I always feel like I put more eyeshadow on my left eye than on my right eye. So like when you guys do this at home, just be mindful of your own makeup habits, because I feel like I do my right eye and I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. Then I go in a little bit harder on my left eye because I get cocky, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and I have a little bit of fallout right here, but that's why we're doing our eyes first. So we're just gonna work on blending this out like we did. And so you see, like, this is going way too far out than I did on this eye, and we'll wipe it off. We'll clean it up. it'll be fine. So don't worry about it. It will all work out. But the key to a good smoky eye is to just keep blending. When all else fails, blend. Pretty sure Nick's tutorial says that frequently. And this windshield wiper motion is really helpful too, to get things going. And see, like, I went a little bit hard in that inner corner, and so I'm just going back in with this and buffing it pretty generously. And if you think you've really gone too hard, because like I kind of think that I did, just go back in with more of that transition shade. Like, it'll all work out. And the other thing is, like, if you need this for an event, if you need this for something along those lines, practice first. Do it 1 or 2 times when like you don't have anything else to do. Set aside an hour and then practice and figure it out, and figure out what brushes you like to use and what palettes you want to use and all that kind of stuff. So it's always good to practice eyeshadow, any part of your makeup, if it's for a big event. If you're just playing around, then just play around. That's part of practicing. So I'm just deepening up this outer portion. We have a lot of cleanup to do on this left side because I packed on a little bit too much at the beginning, but that's okay. It's okay to mess up. It's just makeup and it washes off. It's a nice thing about it. Okay, so we're looking a little crazy at the moment, and that's okay. We gotta trust the process. And that's really difficult sometimes, because sometimes the process can do you dirty. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna pack on the shimmer. And so we're gonna go into the ColourPop palette, or whatever palette you have that has a really nice silver shimmer in it. And I like to have, like, I have these hand towels. This one has Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on it, to wipe my hands off on. And then I have a dedicated microfiber cloth that I use to help clean off my brushes and get all the excess oils and stuff off of them. It just helps everything stay nicer, longer. Okay, we're gonna go in to, I use my middle finger, so we're going into thingamabob. I have it right there. And then we're just gonna pack it on. And I like to tap and then kind of sweep. And don't worry about if you get it down here. That's why we're doing our eyes first. We can be a little bit messy. I'm flicking you all off. Okay. So that's what we're looking like. I still have shimmer on my hand. It's not really transferring off anymore. But I'm gonna wipe it on my little handy dandy towel. And see, all gone. And that way it reduces my use of makeup wipes. And then I just find it easier to, like, for my right eye, I use my right hand, and then for my left eye, I use my left hand. I just find it, I have a little bit more control that way, but you do whatever you feel the most confident doing. This is just how I like to do it. Bam. Okay, see? It's kind of everywhere. We're looking like a hot mess, and that's okay. because actually what I'm gonna do beforehand is I have this Stila Smudge Stick waterproof eyeliner in Midnight Blue, and I'm just gonna put that like a teeny tiny bit right along here. But I need both hands because I need to do that to my eye. So hold on just a second, I'm gonna put the eyeliner on. Okay, it's quite subtle, but that's kind of what we're looking like, just a little bit of definition right along the lash line. And I kind of start it right in the middle of my eye, like, and then go to the outer portion, just because I feel like I have smaller eyes. Okay. Oh, and I also like to put a nude pencil in my waterline, so I'm going to do that real quick too. Okay, and that just makes your eyes look a little bit brighter. This is the Wet n Wild Kohl Crayon and Calling Your Buff. So I'll have it all linked down below. But now what I'm going to do is clean this hot mess up, and it'll look a lot better. So I have a reusable cotton swab and a little bit of micellar water. And so I'm just going to put some micellar water on the pad and use it to clean up the fallout, clean up the shape, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to go under here. And then be really careful along the edge. You want to make sure to maintain the shape that you worked really hard to create. So there's that. That looks nice. Okay, now we're gonna do the other eye. That one's a little bit more intense. There we go. See, all cleaned up. And now we just get to wash this. So I prefer to use these. These are, I feel like they're made out of like bamboo fibers or something. But they're washable. I've had them for a while. Makeup eraser just came out with a bunch that I got. So I'm trying to switch over to completely like cotton ball free makeup. Just to try to be a little bit more sustainable. Like if I'm using a bunch a day, and try to not use makeup wipes either for the same reason, because they don't really decompose. So, but here's our current eye look. I should probably add on mascara, and then we will come back and do the rest of our face and the lower lash line. So I'm gonna you guys don't need to watch me put on mascara, so I'm gonna put on some mascara and then come back and we'll do the rest of our face. Okay, I am back with mascara on. I used the Lashcraft Big Volume Extreme mascara from Sephora. This is just a mini. This is getting really close to being at the end of its life. So I'm just trying to get all the uses out of it. So for primer, what I'm gonna use is the Farsali Rose Gold Elixir. I haven't used this in a while, and it sounded like it would feel nice on my skin. So that's what we're using. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm using mostly high-end makeup because it's what I want to use. So this is what it looks like in the dropper. So I just put a little bit on my hands, and this is like kind of an oil consistency. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use the Bobbi Brown I'm gonna use the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation SPF 15. My lights are making everything look a little bit more orange-y today, and I will figure that out later. But I'm in the shade N030 Neutral Sand. So I tend to have a neutral undertone. Everything's looking a little bit more warm tone today. That's my lighting. So we're figuring it out. I've like rearranged all my things. So we're, like I said, we're figuring it out. So I just like to put it on the back of my hand. The squirts are really, really small, and it's a medium coverage foundation, so I always feel like I have to pump a lot of it onto my hand. And then this is, I'm pretty sure it's a Nikkia Joy Cosmetics sponge. I'm like 95% sure that that's right. I have one from the makeup eraser that looks really, really similar, like is the same shape, and I just have it on the back of my, or back here. But I'm pretty sure that one's dirty, so we are just going to blend this out. I really like this foundation though. It's not cruelty free, which I kind of wish I had realized that Bobbi Brown wasn't cruelty free when I purchased this, because I'm trying really hard to only buy cruelty free products. But I was in store at Sephora and like had a foundation specific coupon, and I like told the salesperson who was helping me find stuff, like I had this coupon, I wanted to find something. I was kind of looking for something high-end because I had the coupon, and I failed to mention to her that I wanted cruelty-free, and so she was like, Bobbi Brown, this would be perfect. I was like, that sounds great. So I'm just gonna use it up. I won't repurchase it. I'll look for something that does the same thing, but it's from a brand that's cruelty-free. So, and now I know that Bobbi Brown isn't cruelty-free, so it just kind of sucks. Like, I really love this foundation, but I don't love the practices behind it. So I'm just going in with a little bit more for the second half of my face. But my skincare, I feel like, has been pretty decent recently. And so, like, I've reduced redness, I'm not as oily, and so I can get away with more sheer foundation and, like, a natural finish instead of a matte finish. When I first got into makeup, I was like, oh, I need all matte. Like, I was like all on that super matte train, and that was not really a good look. It was like, wow, Kaylin's wearing makeup. I was like, damn straight I'm wearing makeup, even though it wasn't necessarily like the best thing ever. I'd give it a really nice finish on it, like it would be matte, but I'm just liking something a little bit more like, oh, my cat is joining us. Can you hear him? What? Okay. I guess we're gonna continue blending the foundation from over here, as Smokey would like to assist. He's so loud. What? There's not really room on the desk for you, kiddo. Alright, he's right here. Spooks. And now he's in my lap. Okay. Can I help you? We are going to continue. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go back in with the Hourglass concealer. He's never done that before. Where are you going? He wants to be part of it. Solid. So I'm gonna put just, you don't really need a lot of this concealer at all. Just gonna kind of make that shape. Yeah, spooks. That's what we're gonna do. And then again on this side, a little bit on the nose, a little bit on the chin. I don't do it on my forehead because I always feel like that looks funny on me. I can never get it to quite blend out nicely. So I'm gonna go in with the angled portion of my sponge and blend that out and see what Spooky does. Bye. He jumped under the chair that's behind me. So we're just gonna take our time blending this out. It's a fairly high coverage, and we want to be really careful of the shape that we made with our eyeshadow. Ta-da! We are now concealed. Spooky has left. I apparently was not fulfilling his needs. Everyone else, like, my brother's asleep, mom's upstairs working. He does have, she's just on the porch. He can go visit her, but he got apparently a little bit lonely. So now what we're gonna do is make a lot of noise. I'm gonna go in with some of my liquid contour. Wipe out the foundation from the back of my hand. Okay, so this is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. This is in the fair medium, and so it has this little puff ball applicator and an on-off. So like you twist it, and then so now it's on, and then if you guys can see it, there we go, like some product comes out. So just put it like that and then blend. So I really like this product. I think it has thoroughly improved my contour game. So, and I always use it with a another bronzer. So now I'm just gonna close that. I'm actually gonna put what's left back there, and then whoop, and now it's closed. But always make sure to like close the twist, or else it'll be kind of a mess. So for a while I was I was doing bronzer across here, but honestly, like, my forehead isn't big enough for that, and I felt like I was just ending up with a line across. So I just do it in like right here on both sides, and then along the sides of my face. And if I go a little bit too hard, I just like go to the concealer side of my sponge and clean up the contour. And you always like want the deepest shade on the most outer portion of your face, or for your contour. you don't want it to be super heavy in your cheeks. So we're gonna go in with the same powder we used earlier, the Nikkia Joy Velvet Finishing Powder. And I love this powder. It is my favorite powder, like, of all time. So I just go in with the flat, like, concealer side and do take about that much. And then I'm actually just gonna clean up with my brush a little bit. There's a little bit of settling. So I'm not sweeping, I'm just kind of stamping. And then we're gonna go in and just gently stamp on the powder to our under eye. This is close to baking, but not fully baking. So, but like, you can tell the difference between this eye and this eye. Like, it does its job very, very well. So we'll just dip back into that again. Do the other eye. I get less settling on my left eye than on my right eye. I don't really know what that's about, but that's what happens. So I'm just gonna go in, do the same thing. You want to be gentle. But this powder is like magic. If there were two products from this whole thing that you guys should get, it's this powder, and the contour wand. Like, I love both of them a lot. I feel like they both really upped my makeup game. And so we're just going back in and kind of stamping it all around the face now. And being that I get oily, I powder my whole face, because that helps it not move. So then, now that we're all powdered, I'm gonna go in with my Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in 101 Tan-Tastic. Here's what that looks like. It's giant, honestly. And so I'm gonna go in with like a little flat kind of kabuki style brush, and then just use this for a little bit of bronzer. Like, we've contoured, but now I want just a little bit more bronze on the face. So we're trying to keep it still pretty cool toned, but I don't want to not look alive or like I've never seen the sun. So we're kind of going to bring a little bit of warmth back to the face. And if it's like, it's a pretty glam look, so it deserves some glam contour. I like to bring just a little bit down like that, but always circle up. When contouring, don't circle down, because you always want it going upwards. So okay, that's looking good. I mean, it looks like I've never touched this bronzer at all. I have, you just saw it. So there's that. And so once I use a brush like this, I like to use the microfiber brush to get excess product and oils from my face off. It helps the brush last a little bit longer. Okay, and then we're gonna go in with a blush, the Ofra and Samantha March blush duo in Chiclet. Because I love this brush. I love this blush, but I just got this brush from Persona Cosmetics, and so we're gonna use this side just for a little gentle blush. And I'm using both the shimmer and the matte together because I like how that looks. And I just want to be a little bit gentle with this because it's quite pigmented. And I really want the eyes to, okay. But I feel like I personally look weird without blush on. So I always go in with blush. And just figure it out. Okay. There's blush. And then, I'm excited for this one. I haven't tried this yet. I just got it in. This is the Becca Champagne Pop. This is like an OG highlighter. So going to the other side of the Persona brush. That mirror is too small for me to use. That's not gonna work. Going back to this. Okay. I like it. I think it is gonna work well with, yeah, good. Oh, this one's a little bit more, I feel like I have more of like a stripe on this one. See, my left side, I always go in a little bit too hard. Just flip the brush back over to the blush side to try and blend it out a little bit. We'll put some down the center of the nose, look along the Cupid's bow, and then we will take a tiny brush, like a little flat shader, take some and use it on our inner corners of our, I need to do the lower lash line and the brow bone. Just gonna tie everything together. It's a little bit warmer than the rest of the look, but I think that's okay. Cool. Okay. So now we have to do our lower lash line. My desk is a disaster. I know like every YouTuber says that. They're like, wow, like if you could only see what was happening in front of me. And I'm like, is it really that chaotic? Yeah, it really is. Okay, so we're gonna go back into the Butter London palette. And I think we're gonna use the shades Simon and Rupert. So Simon was our transition shade, and then Rupert was that really dark shade. So I'm gonna take a pretty small little pencil brush and go into Simon, and we're gonna use that. I keep misplacing things. We're gonna use that along the lower lash line. Okay, it's pretty subtle at the moment, but you guys get the gist. And then just like I mean, it picks up a lot. So we're gonna tap anything off we can. And then just the littlest bit down along the bottom and blending it up. Just like that. And there we go. It's really pretty. And that's, I'm gonna check on some mascara. And then we'll be done with our lower lash line. Oh, this is the Pixi by Petra Lower Lash Mascara. So I'm gonna throw this on my bottom lashes. It has like the itty bittiest of wands. So I'm gonna put this on and then come back and we'll finish everything. Okay, mascara's on. Now we have lips and eyebrows and setting spray left. That's what we have to do. Okay, I mean, this is like completely rubbed off, but it's a Mellow Cosmetics pencil in the shade Chocolate. So on one end is a spoolie, and I'm almost out of this, so I'm just gonna brush up, and then okay, we have a little like triangle shape there that I use, and I have generous eyebrows, so it takes me like a whole 2 seconds to do. I run along the bottom, I fill in the front right here because they're a little sparse, and then I kind of run it through just to get like a consistent tone. This arch is always a little funny, and then I just finish off the tail, and then I do the other side. I retract that, and then spoolie through. That helps blend everything out. And then I go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Tinted Brow Gel in the shade Granite. And it looks like this. And so I just kind of comb that through. And sometimes I can get kind of a lot on there. So what I do after to make sure nothing gets like crusty is I go through with just like a regular spoolie to distribute the brow gel properly. Okay, that's brows done. Check. Now we do lips. You're done. So for lips, I want to go for something like cool tone neutral is where I was going, because I didn't want it to be too intense on the lips and distract from the eyes. So we're gonna use the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in Sandstorm. So it's that color, looks like that. And on top of that, we're gonna use the Milani Matte Beauty Color Statement Matte Lipstick in the shade, in the shade 69 Matte Beauty. Okay. And that looks like this. That's the shade. So that's kind of what we're going for. It looks more warm toned on here, but we'll see what happens. If I don't like it, we'll change it. Okay, well that's lipstick done, and I think I like how it looks. So now we're just gonna go in with setting spray, and I actually don't think, sometimes I like to go in with two, but I don't feel like I look too powdery. So we're just gonna go in with the Tarte Maracuja Miracle Mist. I just got this, so I'm really excited to try. I haven't tried it yet. So let's spray it on my face. Here, it's pretty fine, so. I mean, it almost doesn't feel like anything at all. Yeah, I mean, it feels nice. We'll see if it does anything. Okay, well that's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that you guys found it helpful and fun, and if you guys create this on your own, I'd love to see it, and tag me in any looks that you guys do create. And if you guys have any ideas for more looks that you want to see from me, or video ideas, let me know. I would love to do them for you. So I hope you guys all have a lovely day and a safe day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.